What's up, horror fan? Welcome back to the channel. So today we are taking a look at this new information. Well, I'm saying it's new because this is the new bit of content that we're getting on this topic as it relates to David Howard Thornton's version of the Joker, portraying the Joker from the DC Comics. Now, these are new images from Joker's Wild. Now, if you didn't know already, David Howard Thornton has put out there within the last year, even as far back as 10 years ago, him dressed up as the Joker, portraying it. You can go out on YouTube and just search David Howard Thornton Joker, and you'll get some of these older videos coming up. And that portrayal that he's giving of the Joker, as far as the look goes, is not the same look as these new images that we are getting from Joker's Wild. But I am interested to see somewhat of what his take would be on a live action Joker film, considering his role in the Terrifier series, and we all know what that role is, and we all have seen the continued success of the Terrifier series when you look at those three core films as far as how the budget goes and the return on that. For example, if you just look at the first film that only had a budget of $35,000, worldwide it made a little over $420,000. That's a great return. And then when we moved on to Terrifier 2, a $250,000 budget gave them almost $16 million in return worldwide. And of course, we all know the story of this year of the Terrifier 3 film, which came out in October 2023. And it was by far the most successful of the franchise, and I think it surprised a lot of people. It had a $2 million budget, and it says on some sites it has an $89 million return. Now, we know that number isn't necessarily accurate because we have most recent numbers as of this past week that it garnered over $100 million. It's the first unrated film to make that achievement, over $100 million global box office, and did get a re-release on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day in some areas. I know in the US it did get a re-release, so that helped it get over that hump of $100 million. But we see that Art the Clown, we see that character, and trying to translate that, or David Howard Thornton trying to translate his version again of the Joker. Now we're going to look at these images here. We're going to read through some of the content of this article, and I'm interested in seeing this, and I'm hoping it's not just strictly a DC iteration or his iteration of this DC character, and might have a bit of a horror spin on it. Now, I don't want to necessarily just see Art the Clown in different makeup and then we're seeing the same type of acting, the same type of character. I would like to see a different portrayal. And of course, we know the Joker talks, and we know, of course, Art the Clown does not talk. So that would be one of the primary and core differences between the two iterations of these two characters that David plays. So that would be, again, a key difference. So let's get into some of these details here. After the massive success of Terrifier 3, David Howard Thornton is tackling another twisted clown with Joker's Wild, an upcoming horror short from Busted Knuckle Productions. We've got a handful of images featuring Thornton as the iconic DC villain, which you can check out below. So if we just scroll down here. So the character that we have here that he's got blindfolded, presumably tied up, is Robin, the companion, the sidekick, whatever you want to call it, to Batman. And you can clearly see we have a perfect image here of his portrayal of the Joker. Now, one of the things that just stands immediately out to me is the teeth, very reminiscent of what I would expect to see on Art the Clown. Now, again, I don't want to see Art the Clown just dressed up as Joker and then now he can talk. I want to see something different. I want to hear something different. Of course, we will hear something different. But I just don't want it to feel like Art the Clown, right? I just want to see a different portrayal. So we keep scrolling down here. Now this version here, especially the clothes, has almost like that punk rock look to it. I mean, especially with the jacket here, you got the spikes on the shoulders. It looks like he's got a bullet here on his necklace. If you can see real closely where my cursor is, keep scrolling down. Another image of him, looks like he has a switchblade over here where he's torturing Robin. And then we have the film poster here, David Howard Thornton, and then again the two primary characters. Now, it is being deemed as a short film, so let's take a look at some of these details here. The synopsis for Joker's Wild reads: the Joker has finally captured Robin. Will the Dark Knight be able to save him in time, or will the Joker enact his most gruesome joke to date? In addition to David Howard Thornton on the Joker, the short also stars Joel Labenek as Robin and Hunter G. Williams as Batman. Joker's Wild was written and directed by Aaron Bennett, who also produced alongside Hunter G. Williams and Vanessa Lee. This isn't the first time Thornton has stepped into the shoes of a clown prince of crime. He also portrayed the character in several episodes of the Nightwing Escalation web series. The Joker happens to be one of Thornton's favorites, and he recently revealed his desire to play the character for DC Studios. Quote, "The Joker is my favorite villain of all time, and that's a character I would love to play myself one day. So hopefully someone like James Gunn gives me the opportunity to tackle that character, because I would like to do a lot of fun things with him." Also for Terrifier 3, our own Tyler Nichols was a big fan of the blood-soaked sequel, calling it the best of the franchise so far. And then we go on to some additional Terrifier 3 information, which we're not going to cover. We've covered Terrifier 3 pretty extensively. So go back, check out those videos and those daily episodes for that content. Now, to be honest, I don't see James Gunn reaching out to David Howard Thornton and looking to get his portrayal of the Joker. Again, if we just look at this here, now it's a short film, probably very low, obviously very low budget. I mean, just looking at how the wig is, the makeup, the prosthetics on a film coming out of DC Studios, I mean, all that would definitely be upgraded. And there's nothing wrong with this look. Again, I just think when you're talking about a big budget film like coming out of DC Studios, they're going to apply a lot more money towards the look of this type of character. Now, they could do something very simple like what Heath Ledger did. Very simple look of the Joker, where he just had the prosthetics around his lips and then it was just the makeup and costume. Same thing with Jared Leto, primarily just makeup. I mean, he shaved his eyebrows, his hair was cut and just dyed, and that was pretty much it. Now, but for a look like this, where it might be, depending upon the comic and source material, trying to get a little bit more comic book accurate depending upon that story, where you have these additional prosthetics like the nose, the smile, the eyes, very makeup heavy. But again, I don't see James Gunn going down this path. Just looking at the recent Superman trailer and how those characters look and how they are portrayed, this Joker necessarily wouldn't fit into that universe. Now, if it was an Elseworlds type story, a standalone film out on its own, I think a very much grounded version of Joker like this could work. But this is going to be a horror spin, and I don't see a horror spin of the Joker fitting into the current DCU that's being created, or in DC in general. From an Elseworlds perspective, it might work, but it would have to be a pretty big sell as far as the return, what the film could bring that no other iteration has brought before, in order to have that horror spin on it. I would be interested in seeing it. Especially if you threw some money at it to up the production. I think it could be something very different. But DC Studios just seems to be constantly sabotaging themselves, not wanting to try things differently, trying to stay pretty much within a box in this whole multiverse universe, extended universe environment. So I think something like this would never come to happen unless new ownership were to come in and say, yep, we're going to do something completely different. Let's kick up these Elseworld stories and let's do a horror take on the Joker. And then they go tap David Howard Thornton to portray the Joker with a look like this or something similar, and then throwing that horror spin on it. So, all right, everyone, that is going to do it for today's update. I just want to say a quick thank you to all the new subscribers to the channel. It is greatly appreciated. So drop a comment down in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Would you like to see a short film or a feature film, a horror take on the Clown Prince, the Joker, starring David Howard Thornton, or maybe somebody else to portray the character? But we can obviously see David Howard Thornton is very interested to portray the character in one way or another for DC Studios. And if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It is greatly appreciated, and we will see you at the next one. Peace.